Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, I wanted to talk about the idea of the Buccaneers signing defensive lineman edge rusher Chase Young, who is 6'5", 264 pounds, formerly of the San Francisco 49ers, formerly of the Washington football team, the Washington Commanders. He was the second overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, a one-time Pro Bowler, the 2020 Defensive Rookie of the Year coming out of Ohio State. He will be 25 years old in the upcoming season for whoever he ends up playing for, and in my opinion, I think the Buccaneers should really give this a look, and let's talk about why I say this. Firstly, we talked about Chase Young and his market value right now, which is expected to be $13 million, according to SpotRack.com. The Buccaneers have freed up a good chunk of money in the restructuring of Mike Evans' contract. I talked about that in a separate video. If they extend Tristan Wirfs, if they extend Antoine Winfield Jr. on a long-term deal, that'll free up even more salary cap moving forward. And Chase Young, I think, can still be a good pass rusher in this league. You take a look at his overall career, he has struggled with injuries mightily. In 2020, played and started in 15 games, had 7.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 4 passes defended, 3 fumbles recovered. He had a touchdown. He had 12 quarterback hits, 10 tackles for loss, and 44 combined tackles. This is what I feel like Chase Young can be at his peak. This is what I feel like peak Chase Young can look like when he is healthy and in a good system. The next 2 years were really rough. He suffered a lot of injuries, played in only 12 games in 2 years, started only 11 games in 2 years, had 3 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, a sack and a half, 5 quarterback hits, and 3 tackles for loss in those 2 years. So not a great 2021 or 2022. By the way, a lot of people remember that 2020 season because he was the player who said, hey, I want Brady, and then Washington ended up playing Brady and the Buccaneers in the first round of the playoffs, and the Bucs and Brady would go on to win the Super Bowl. So just an interesting connection there with the Bucs as well. Then in 2023, Chase Young was healthy, did play in 16 games this year, but only started 6. He played throughout the first half of the season with the Washington Commanders and was then traded to the San Francisco 49ers, where he was dropped back into a rotational type of role. Still finished the year, though, the second best statistical year of his career. 7.5 sacks, 25 total tackles, 15 quarterback hits, 7 tackles for loss, 2 passes defended. And that was in a rotational type of role. That was only starting really half the season. And he was, granted, with a great San Francisco 49ers defensive line, would actually go to the playoffs twice. As I said, he went with the Washington football team in 2020 and then made it all the way to the Super Bowl with the 49ers in this past season. Had a sack, 8 tackles, 2 quarterback hits, and 2 tackles for loss in the 49ers playoff run as well. I say that, all of this to say this. If Chase Young is healthy and if you are in an aggressive system that is very unique and creative, I think Chase Young can be really good. That is what I like about Todd Bowles' defense, is it's very unique, it's very creative, and it's very aggressive. I could really see Chase Young being used in a lot of different ways. He's played right defensive end, left defensive end. He's got good size, 6'5", 264 pounds. I think he can play a stand-up edge rusher in a 3-4 style of defense, and I think that he could be a number 1 guy if he can stay healthy. Now, I say again, I think it would be a good signing. I think it would be a good move for the Bucs to make because I've said it before and I'll say it again. Going into this upcoming offseason, besides bringing back their own guys, the Bucs have needed a edge rusher I would say a veteran edge rusher first and foremost, but an edge rusher that carries some weight, so to speak. Right now, you got Yaya Diaby, who had a great rookie season. You have Anthony Nelson, who's been a rotational guy throughout most of his career. You have Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, who has had some good moments here and there, but are these group of guys ready to lead? Are any of these guys really going to separate themselves from each other and be a number 1 type guy? I would say the guy who has the most potential in doing that is Yaya Diaby, but he's going into year number 2. I would want some more insurance. I would want a more veteran guy presence in there as well, with some of those guys. Now, of course, I know Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is, I think he's in year 4 right now, going into year number 4, year 3, something along those lines. Chase Young isn't that far ahead of him, really ahead of any of these guys. Anthony Nelson would probably still be the most veteran guy, but Chase Young, I feel like would fit in very well, and he would have the potential to be that number 1 guy, could be that star for your pass rush, like what Shaq Barrett was for the first couple of years he was with the team, like what Jason Pierre-Paul was before Shaq Barrett came into the mix. The Bucs are missing a dude, like a star dude, to lead this young group of pass rushers who have a lot of ability, but I think could use a little bit more help in there as well. I think Chase Young would be a great fit for that. I think imagine Chase Young and Yaya Diaby together. That'd be awesome. That'd be absolutely awesome. And if you've got, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka and Anthony Nelson in rotation, that's a good group of pass rushers in my opinion, and it gives you more flexibility in the NFL draft. You could look to center, you could look to guard, you could even get another pass rusher if you want later on in the draft as well. But this is a signing that I think the Buccaneers should be interested in. Chase Young is still one of the top, in fact, I would say he is the top edge rusher left on the free agent market. And I think that he could definitely be a benefit to the Buccaneers going forward if they want to explore the idea of signing him. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.